Greetings, friends and enemies. Welcome back to Art by Flan. Today we have another Golden Oldies sketchbook tour, and we're finally getting into late high school, post-high school sketchbooks. This one I think is just, I just labeled it 2009, so it's probably mid-2009, because I normally label it late or early if I know. But this one is just 2009. So there's a lot of Leviathan stuff, I think, in here. But we will definitely see. I'm pretty sure there's tons of Leviathan in here, because this is about the time it kicked off. Which, if you don't know what Leviathan is, it's a RP / novel / collection of characters that I have with my roommate and best friend, Brooke. So, we're gonna crack into this and see what we got inside. Now, normally I do a skim through when I do these and see sort of what's inside, but this one I maybe looked at like 2 pages to see if this was the next sketchbook in the thing. So, opening up. So this is, so we got some stuff in the pocket here. I think this was another, vampire version of my ex-boyfriend at the time, I guess. I had a thing, okay? If you haven't watched any other sketchbook tour, know that there was a thing. Oh, and this was like the me companion piece. I was going to take them and flip one digitally so that their hands were like together or whatever in some big emotional display. Lame. I don't think this is him. I think this is a different character that I'm not entirely sure who they are anymore. I don't know. You can tell I still struggle with profiles, and I do that to this day, and we have teeny tiny ear syndrome still going on. This was a guy one of my friends had a crush on, and I drew him as this little bean-shaped chibi with wolf ears. This, I think, is Caesar and someone else. I don't know who that is. I don't think it's a character, but I don't know who that is. So it's Caesar hugging some chick, which is really weird. So I don't know who that chick is, and that concerns me. And this is just a really, really weird unicorn girl. I hope you can see these. This is a lot of pencil work. Is she I think she's wearing like a turtleneck sweater or something? I don't know what's going through young Danny's head. So let's put these back in here. And then moving on to the actual meat of the sketchbook. First page, blank as always. So this is a stylized version of, oh gosh, let me adjust it. I got a new mat, so all my measurements are off here. This is a stylized version of Brooke's character, Calliope. I was like, who does she belong to again? Brooke's character, Calliope, she is Caesar's wife for a time and the mother of his first 2 children. This is just a little stylized doodle of her. And down here we have I think this is Caesar's alien baby, so I made the Leviathan characters in The Sims 2, and Caesar ended up getting abducted, and he had a little alien baby. So if I do that, I can't remember their name or anything, but that's what that is. So here we have Caesar in the middle and his 2 love interests at the time, Lyra and Calliope. He does eventually marry Calliope, but he does end up having 2 children with Lyra. It's a long, complicated story, and there's a nasty divorce in the middle of it. Art of Lyra. So, like I've said in previous sketchbook tours, my initial art of Lyra wasn't right for her character. Brooke was really patient in putting up with me, but I did like to draw Lyra in a lot of dresses and doing girly things, which is not something they do a lot. So this was Lyra in an old-timey dress, and I think I put the lyrics to one of the songs from that musical 1776 in there. Something about a fiddle, I think, because Caesar plays the violin, and so that's sort of what that is. I did a digital version of this. It's not up in my gallery anymore, though. More Leviathan stuff. This is a really stylized version of Calliope. I like to play around with different styles, I guess, at this point in time, and Calliope just happened to be my guinea pig because I felt like she did not get enough love, especially not in the in the aspect of the story. We've tweaked a lot of things, and she definitely gets more now, but at the time I felt like she kind of gets jilted, so I drew her quite a bit. So here's a little stylized doodle of myself, I guess. I don't know what, I feel like this was used for something, but I honestly could not tell you what. Wearing some of my trademark items at the time. I had this striped headband, I had checkered bands, and I love those what do they call, baseball tees that kind of have the colored sleeves and the colored collar or whatever. I really like those. So I never owned one. I kept wanting to, but I just never ended up owning one. I hope you can see this stuff. Playing around with style again. I guess it was just that point in my life. I don't know who this is, what they're doing, anything. I don't know anything about this piece. Although it looks like... Why does it look like she's got one boob smack in the middle of her chest? Look at this. Like, I think it's supposed to be like a 3/4 view, but like her boob is right here in the middle of her body. That's not how boobs work. That's not where that belongs. This is Orion and Clara. So these are Maya's parents, and they are the sweetest peas in the entire story. Like, they were kind of like thrown in at the end of the original write of the story, and they just blossomed into this whole big thing. Well, then not them as characters, their relationship was kind of pitched at the very end of the story, and then they just sort of blossomed into this whole big thing during the sequel. Like, yes, there's multiple layers to Leviathan's story. One day I'm going to do a video on it. But this is Orion and Clara being all cute and snuggly. More Calliope. Like I said, she got kind of jilted in the story, so I just ended up drawing her a lot. So these are interesting. So a big thing, I keep pushing it up because I'm used to that. Anyway, a big thing in like the Sailor Moon fandom was to create a lineage for Sailor Moon, and I'm not talking like starting with her and working through her children. I'm talking about starting from the past and working up to her. So this is kind of the hierarchy, the family tree. That's what I was looking for. Why did that escape me? The family tree I had for Sailor Moon and the Moon Kingdom in general. So it started with this a primordial deity, and I was like, she was like the embodiment of the silver crystal. If you're familiar with Sailor Moon at all, this will make sense. If not, hold on for a wild ride. And then she gave up her physical form to become the crystal, and she was monitored by these her 3 daughters, and they monitored the crystal in the morning and the evening. The morning, the afternoon, and the evening. These are all based on different moon deities. I can't tell you everything about them because I forgot now, but I remember the basic gist. And they were sort of celibate. They weren't supposed to have children. They were just supposed to be immortal guardians of the silver crystal. Well, that doesn't last because the middle one here ends up having a child with... The middle one ends up having a child with a prince from Venus, I think? Yeah, a prince from Venus, and has Phoebe, who then has, like, I didn't have all of their spouses, but I know Venus was tossed in there somewhere to kind of link the lineages, which kind of explains the connection between Sailor Venus and Sailor Moon. But then there was Queen Phoebe and her daughter Queen Luna and her son Queen Artemis, who the cat is named after. So this was another Venus Moon link here. And then Artemis, I don't think whoever took the throne, had his daughter here, who gave birth to the first Queen Serenity, who gave birth to Sailor Moon as Princess Serenity, who gave birth to Lady Serenity, which is Chibiusa, and then I designed 2 fan characters for Chibiusa's children. I hope I didn't go through that too fast. Let me go back and again. So here were these designs. And then, I feel like I went through these really fast, sorry. And then these 3. That used to be up on my DeviantArt. I don't think it is anymore. So this was in 2009. Before Brooke and I started living together, we were strictly online friends. Well, in 2009, after I graduated high school, I saved up some cash and I went down to Louisiana, where she lived at the time, to visit her. And these are kind of doodles from that time. So this is the first ever drawing of Maya. Maya was created sort of as a secondary character for the second generation, as we call them. This is, like I said, Clara and Orion's daughter, and she just sort of exploded into something else all her own entirely. But this was the first drawing of her. She was originally much younger. She didn't speak a lot, and she had a huge crush on her cousin Orpheus, which we drop later on. She gets a bit, we age her up for the story, and she ends up having a relationship with Levi. But down here we have a doodle of Orion, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but it just says, "I am a man," because in the story originally he was kind of young and kind of not taken very seriously because of that, and this is just our SpongeBob reference of saying that he is in fact a man. So this is Caesar in a toga based on the Little Caesars pizza. And this is Lyra in the background with the cute little marker that she marked it out and wrote the way he spells his name. I think Brooke drew this. I think it was supposed to be a symbol for the story, kind of taking inspiration off of Avatar, because the whole original plot of the story was inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not the same storyline, but just like the bending, the elemental bending and stuff like that. And so I think she wanted to design a symbol for that, but we ended up not using this and going with something else entirely. Some more Caesar Lyra stuff. That's these two, and I think this is because at the time Brooke swore up and down that Caesar and Lyra were never going to have a child, and at this point in the story they now have two together. But I think this was one of the fictional sons I came up with that later evolves into the character we have now called Zelos. I'm pretty sure this is Brooke's artwork because this is not mine. I'm going to show this to her when I'm done recording. So admire. She doesn't draw much anymore, if at all, so this is nice to have. Okay, so this is what Orpheus originally looked like. I don't know if you guys are any familiar at all with these OCs, but this is what Orpheus originally looked like. I had this long hair ponytail thing, and this is little baby Maya, and this is because she had, like I said, had a crush on him, so that's what this little scribble is. Again, not much use of the whole page here. Brooke did this eyeball. Again, I'm still in Louisiana. I was there for like a week visiting her, and it was one of the best times of my entire life. And now I basically get to live that every day. And this is a little doodle of Caesar with a derp face that says "Ladies, squats," a reference to that episode of Chowder, if you're familiar with that cartoon. So one of the main premises of the second gen, as we call them, was that a new character is introduced, and her name was Echo. And Echo is Lyra's child, but at the moment, at the time of the story, they didn't know who her father was. She wouldn't say. So they weren't sure if it was Caesar or another character, Julius. And so we sort of had this running joke that they should go on Maury. So here's Caesar slouching in his chair and Echo sitting in hers. And then, of course, there's Maury's speech bubble. In the case of 21-year-old Echo, Caesar, he's not the father, by the way. And Echo and Orpheus end up getting married. It's weird, but it works out. That's my Maury set. Isn't that great? This was a doodle of me, again, making great use of that page space. Another picture of Caesar. I think I ended up coloring this. What is this? What is going on? Why is his belly button on his ribs? That's not where belly buttons go. Ah! And also he had a ponytail for a while. And also every fabric was made of silk because everything had a massive amount of wrinkles when they didn't need that many wrinkles. You can over wrinkle, friends. Remember that. Some doodles of me and Brooke. I don't know how we ended up talking about her getting pregnant at the time. No idea. But that's a doodle of her pregnant and of me confused by her being pregnant. Another doodle of Calliope. Her mouth is really low and really long, which is a problem I struggle with to this day. This was a different RP character. I'm not sure. I think she was like used for a pseudo Harry Potter RP or something. I don't quite remember the full details, but this is her. I don't even remember her name. I remember she had, I picked the most annoying trait to RP, which is that she had a slight stutter. And typing that out and reading that was a freaking nightmare, and I've never done it again ever since. So here's that character I was talking about earlier, Echo's father, Julius. He plays a much different role now in the story. In an alternate universe we have for Leviathan called Faith. Look at that chin, though. What the hell? And again, making great use of all this space. Wow. Wow. This was supposed to be a set of avatars on DeviantArt. Caesar was going to be me, Lyra was going to be Brooke, and Julius was going to be her... Well, I guess he was her boyfriend at the time. Todd was going to be Julius. But I never panned out on that idea because I couldn't find a layout I liked. I ended up not liking this. Again, another from that character from the pseudo Harry Potter RP. Here she is on some pillows with a wand and a really teeny tiny weird looking bird. And an eyeball through her hair. Here's an unfinished doodle. No idea what's going on here. No idea what that anatomy is doing. What is this head? This is not how you draw a head, folks. This is not... Nothing about this is right. Not a damn thing. More Orion and Clara. Just being snuggly. I think there was a digital version of this on my DeviantArt, but it's long gone by now. But this was another one of my absolute favorite pieces that I did. And I kind of want to redo the concept at least. And it's Caesar and Lyra, and of course Lyra's in skimpy lingerie because why not? And she has Caesar's violin, and it was just, I really like this piece, and I definitely really liked the colored version I did online. I don't know if it's still on there, but conceptually I like this, and I would be up for redoing it. I think this is Caesar and Calliope. I did a lot of her in this sketchbook, more than I realized. So it's those two getting the chance to actually be a happy couple before we ruin it with reality. Again, over wrinkles. Like those, none of those, half of those aren't even needed, nor do they make sense. So here's a bust of Maya. I really like this look. I think it's really cute. She's definitely evolved. You can see plenty of pieces of her on my channel here. And this was another attempt at that like three-way icon thingy I was going to do, but I didn't like it either. No idea who this was going to be, or what they were going to be, or why they're shaped like that. Spooky half-finished ghost man. A piece of Calliope. I kind of like this one. Again, conceptually, I like this a lot, and I would be up for redoing it. I like a lot of the pieces conceptually from this point in time, because my hyperfixation shifted from my ex-boyfriend to Leviathan, and it's pretty much remained there for the last 8 years? 9 years. 9 years. It'll be 9 years in March. For the last 9 years, it's been basically on these characters. So here we go with I have no idea who this is. I think she is a scrapped character from the story, but so she's not really important. And this was another shot at that stupid three-way icon thing that I trashed. I never came up with a design for it. So this was from a Kingdom Hearts RP I sort of had a part in. I have a character, but I never RP'd much because, like I said, I was really engulfed in the Leviathan stuff. It was a couple of nobody characters. This was my nobody Index, and her name's Rena, and this was her nobody Bixidus, but we just call him Bix for short, and he has this thing about being confused by technology, whereas my character was really into technology. Steampunk technology, but technology. And we have this running gag that he would always break the toaster, and Index would have to fix it. So this is her threatening me to tell him to drop the toaster, which would break it, in theory. Some Anubis-inspired stuff. Kind of dig this. Not sure what I was going to do with the rest of it, but I kind of dig what I got going on here. Making great use of that paper space. So these were elemental people, I'm guessing, because they say fire, water, and earth, so I'm guessing these are elemental spirits of some kind. Not 100% on the purpose of them, but here they are. Some art of Julius. His look has definitely changed since then. None of this crazy anime hair anymore. A lot of characters lost their crazy anime hair as I progressed as an artist. This one is Clara. I love drawing Clara. She's so precious and sweet. So this was just her in a cute little bathing suit I saw online. Again, another concept I really enjoy that I wouldn't mind redrawing. Let me just redraw the sketchbook, because apparently I'm loving everything. This was a sad me. Not sure why I was sad, but here's a sad chibi me. So this was a gender swap. That's Lyra in the middle. As a man she always needs, she dreamed she was. A female Caesar and a female Julius. Because there was kind of at the time a love triangle going on between the three of them. That's sort of shifted now, but again, I eventually want to do a video, maybe in March for the anniversary. Me and Brooke will sit down and we'll talk about Leviathan some more. But this was supposed to be like a gender inverse love triangle going on here. Some more work. If you watched my last one, you heard me talk about this guy I did a bunch of like art for. So here's some more of that. Again, never saw any money from this. It never took off anywhere. He had a website once, but it never became anything. It's a waste of my time. Caesar and Lyra, there was a wedding scene in the original story, so I wanted to draw Caesar and Lyra, one of my OTPs, my OC OTPs, being all mushy and beautiful on their wedding day, which ends in flames, because Lyra can't leave anything happy. Oh, there's nothing on this paper. Not a thing. Look at this great art I drew on this paper, y'all. Moving on, we have... I think this was more from that pseudo Harry Potter RP. I wish I had more information on it. Like I could remember what the hell it was about or what the fuck we were doing, but... Oh, I said the F word. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. But this was, I guess, the characters from that. I'm not even that big into Harry Potter, but Brooke was having fun on this RP, so I joined in. This was... So, in high school... Obviously after high school, I had this thing where my friends and I would be married and we would have children, and so I would design our children. So this was my child with Brooke. It doesn't look anything like either of us, obviously, but this was supposed to be our child. And I have no idea who she is, but there she is. That's what yeah, there she is. With her really pointy face. Look at that. You could cut glass with that chin. I had a pointy chin face for a long time. This was a doodle for Brooke's birthday. I ended up doing it digitally. I don't know what the circle was going to be, but it was going to be something. So this is a little chibi doodle of her and her birthday. Yep. More Calliope. I like this. Again, I like this conceptually. I think the style is kind of cute. Not perfect, but I definitely like it. So some more... There's a lot of love triangles in this story. God, we cut most of them out. So, in the original story, Lyra ends up moving on, and Caesar ends up with, well, I won't say moving on. She ends up dumping Caesar unceremoniously. But he ends up with Calliope, and of course she does care about him, and she gets kind of, you know, sad that they're together and they're happy for the time. She does come back at Homewreck later, but at the beginning. So this is a moody picture of her being sad and Caesar and Calliope snogging in the back there. This is actually Jaku. Can you believe it? I actually drew her in one of these old sketchbooks. This was just a, I guess, supposed to be hyper stylized version of her in like Grecian inspired clothing and stuff. Again, lots of weird cloth folds that don't need to be there and make no sense. A cute little snuggly Caesar and Calliope. I haven't drawn the two of them together in ages. I kind of want to again. Now after looking through this. Hold on, I gotta get a drink. Talking about this much leaves me parched. Moving on. Turn the page. Wash your hands. I think this was supposed to be me. I don't know. I guess it was supposed to be me. It has my headband and glasses, so I'm assuming it was supposed to be me. No idea who this is or what this was for, but there you go. There it is. Take a look. Enjoy it. Take it in. This was Clara. This was Clara. Her pose looks weird because digitally I went in and added like a sheer cover that she was holding over her dress. But this was a doodle of Clara, who's blind. So I always have kind of like... I always just like didn't draw a pupil and made her eyes milky white to sort of anime signify she was blind. She still is blind, but you know what I mean. So, oh, this is a fun one. So we're moving on to the back here, and I have probably the oldest picture that I have in my possession at this time. This is probably over 15 years old. Do I have a date on it? Hold up. No, I don't. Nope. No, I don't. Nope. Okay. I redrew this picture. If you've been on my channel and you probably, it's on there if you want to watch it. I might link it in the corner or something. But this is probably the oldest picture I have in my possession right now. You guys ready for this? You ready? Well, bam! Look at this! What even? Look, okay, first of all, hands behind the back, because I couldn't draw hands. One eye covered, and one eye winking, because I couldn't draw the other eye. What is this hair even? Like, look at this. This is how far I've come, friends. This is probably the oldest picture I have in my possession right now. And apparently it was from some Sailor Moon fan, which, yes. Sailor Moon's been in my life a long time. From Sailor Moon, Legend of the Crystal Barrier. It was probably my fan fiction or whatever. So this was my Sailor Moon art, and this was my character, Sailor Star. And she was edgy, and everybody loved her, and she was powerful. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so there you go. There's a blast from the past. There's a redraw of this on my channel for sure, so you have to check that out. And so here's a redraw a couple years later. I think like 10 years later or something. I go into more detail in that video, but this is even now looks just awful. Just terrible. I just redrew Sailor Star because we all know what Sailor Moon looks like, so that was a redraw a couple of years later. And is there anything else in here? Yeah, there's some other things in here. So this is Non. This is probably me doing sketches for his character sheet. I have a bunch of notes and stuff that you can find on my DeviantArt. I have an actual character sheet for him. So this is probably doodles and sketches for that. More Leviathan doodles. This one I'm betting was done at school. So here we have a bust of Caesar, one of the original busts of him. This just says random chick. Oh, I know who these are. Okay, so this is Smushy X art down here. But this was my character Nadia, who is a vampire, and this was her werewolf daughter that she adopted. It says her name is Nana. That's a weird name. I don't know if I named her that. But yeah, there's some school doodles for you. I used to doodle on lined paper in school because I didn't give a fuck. Here's some more old paper. Oh, here's a Jack the Ripper script from a movie we did. I call it a movie we did. It was us messing around. This was, I think, for a contest or something where you had to design a Sailor Senshi based on a cat. And so this was my Sailor Kitty, K-H-I-T-Y, so it was to be edgy and different. So there's that. This is printed out several times. Okay, so we're getting towards the end here. This is empty, so I'll take it out. So this was, so originally, was like, I did a steampunk story with her as the character, one of her many iterations, and this was the symbol on her flag, kind of a Greek helmet with wings and gears and steampunk goggles, and her ship was called the Antikythera, which is actually based on an old, impossibly advanced piece of machinery found off the coast of Greece. So that was what her ship was named, and this was sort of her symbol for that, and I really do like this quite a bit still. Moving on, we have some more art of Caesar. Like I said, he went through this ponytail phase. I'm not sure why. It started out small and then eventually got longer. He has grown out of the ponytail phase, thank God, because Brooke hated it. So here we have a doodle of Caesar, and this should be the last thing. No, yes! Oh my gosh, I didn't know I had this. So, I don't know, I remember the original joke, but it was something about Caesar being dressed as a French maid and Lyra telling him to get her a scotch. And it sort of continued on through the story, and this was the original sketch I did for that. So that is the end of this sketchbook. If you like what you see, don't forget to click that like button. You can subscribe. You can click the notification bell if you want a notification when I post a video. It's every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. I'm going to be doing lots of live streams in the future, so you'll definitely want to keep an eye out for those video announcements. Thank you guys so much for watching, and a special thanks to my patrons over on Patreon, Adri Scribbles and Parzival. It means so much that you guys support me every single month, even if it is just $1. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!